right. Thank you so much for coming. It's a long day, but we're going to make it just a little longer. Appreciate everybody being here. You know, I've done the prayer the last couple of days, and I know that's a surprise to you. So I'm looking for volunteers. Okay, Senator Alberts, thank you for volunteering. Would you do our devote?
It'd be my pleasure, Mr. Chairman, especially after our music. Please bow your heads. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for your provision of rain. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Please continue to give us wisdom and discernment as we do your work. In your most holy name we make our prayer. Amen.
Thank you so much. All right. We're going to hear from everybody that is here. Let's see. Where's my list? I need help. Have you ever heard? We have a standing committee. We'll do that first. Okay. Senator C, are you with us? Come on up, my dear. Senator C and I have served for several years together. She's a delightful person. I've learned so much from her. And I'm just trying to see where she gets her hair done so I can find a barber. Senator C, I was complimenting you, you know. Senate Bill 352. Tell us about that bill. 252. I can't count.
Let me.
Now that was kind of funny. I need control in here. Senator Miller, would you have a seat?
All right.
Proceed on, Senator C.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, respectfully, I am trying to go through my notes and tell me if you. I got several bills, so help me with what that is dealing with, and maybe I can get to the right one.
Hey, go to the mic, Senator C. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. That's because I didn't want you to hear me because I'm trying to figure out which bill is which. I don't have them numbered on my cheat sheet, so I'm just trying to figure. I apologize, Mr. Chairman.
Madeline is headed your way.
Thank you. Oh, geez.
And also, while we're doing that, I want to let you know that I do have a letter from the chairman of the audit committee, the audit about the what is it? The state commissioner report. So we're good. Senator C, would you proceed on, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I have before you for your consideration Senate Bill 252, and what we're doing is trying to codify the recommendations of the 2020 report of the State Commission of Compensation. This is something that I've been trying to deal with for quite a while, and if you look at what we've attempted to do is to look at salaries from the top all the way down and try to make some adjustments. One of the things that I said in years past when I've tried to make this same pitch is that we're behind Alabama, and typically we lead Alabama. And that's no knock to Alabama because I'm married to one from Alabama. So I'm trying to make sure we're clear on that. But Mr. Chairman, I've spent a lot of time trying to make sure that while we are in a pandemic, we are trying to stay fiscally sound, and I recognize that, but we also want to make sure that we are not self-serving, but making sure that anybody that comes after us would come and want to do as good of a job as we have in our 20 years of service. If we get some of these other bills passed, maybe we won't stay as long. We'll have some term limits. But basically, it is a revenue bill, and we are trying to make us in line or move the needle. And I will yield for questions if you got specific questions. But that's what I'm attempting to do again this year.
Thank you. And I've got some comments too. Senator Dugan?
I was just going to try to help her with her.
Okay. Senator, thank you for bringing this here. And I've signed it and got in trouble for doing that last year, year before last, but I want to tell you something. We need to move this needle up. It's ridiculous. It's $17,350 $50,000 a year, except when some senator reduced our pay because of COVID pandemic. Oh, that was me. And if we don't, we're going to have only wealthy people, like the senator from the 49th, or we're going to have retired people. I'm not even going to mention any people, like senator from Cobb County. And this is supposed to be the whole dynamic of the state. Different professions, different areas, so we kind of come together and put things together to move Georgia forward. But if you don't eventually raise the salary, you're going to get a stalemate here of a bunch of senior people, and I love senior people and wealthy people, and that's not who you want to run the state. And I love wealthy people. I wish I was one, but I'm one of those on the opposite sides of that. So I'm grateful you brought this forward. I signed it, and I've signed it before, and I hope we can at least use it for discussion and move forward and to make it legitimate again. Now, Alabama's over $40,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is their population? Do you know?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay, but it's nowhere. Yes, ma'am. Okay, no. Well, look, they're a lot less than we are. We're 5 to 11 million people. It needs to be a realistic salary, not to make money salary, but just to make it affordable to be here. So anyway, Senator Parent, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator, for your work on this bill and this issue. My question is, this refers to the 2020 report of the State Commission on Compensation. Am I correct that there was also a study committee made up of legislators in maybe 2019? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, what did they recommend?
Right, that's my question. And how is it different than, I don't know much about the State Commission on Compensation. Could you debrief us on both a little bit more?
I can. I'm not the expert. However, I did get with Legislative Council to try to help craft what I was trying to get. Unlike a lot of you guys, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm in the drawer. So a lot of y'all caught that. But no, the only thing I was going to say is
ma'am.
it was both taking recommendations and working from there to try to get us to where we don't have to consistently be
It
coming
seems like
back.
it's around 50,000, but I don't
Yeah.
know. And I'm not voting for any particular size money. I'm voting to improve it for the next generation of legislators. Senator Anderson,
Senator, could you explain
talk to Mike.
the Attorney General salary? I mean, is it just 14,000?
Today, you mean?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be, yes, from where this line is, I mean, the first line, that's supposed to be where they are, and trying to move to where the two numbers are.
I mean, for real. I don't know.
I may
That's what
have
I'm
an
asking.
error.
Is that his current salary?
Okay, that's the information I was getting in the research, so.
Mr. Busey, are you here? Is 114,000? Oh,
It's the base salary.
the 14,000?
It just doesn't reflect.
The 14,000 is the base salary, then all sorts of other things. Hello, Chairman Fleming, good to have you visit with us today. Yeah, well, you're blowing smoke, but I like smoke. You're very kind. Thank you. We appreciate all the work you're doing. Senator
I
Parent.
just had to get your attention because our budget director does have the answer to this inquiry.
Yeah, so when you guys.
Come to the mic, please.
Come to the mic.
So also in Title 45, it has where the General Assembly, when you guys approve cost of living adjustments over time, right, that taxed on. So what is codified in statute might not actually be what's paid. So actually, I think the Attorney General right now is like 123,000. So that's because of other COLAs and other things that happen throughout, just like what's in statute right now for the General Assembly is not what you guys are getting paid, right, because there's subsequent statutes.
Yeah, Elizabeth also said it's kind of the base, but all sorts of things make up the salary. But anyway, let me commend your effort. Thank you, and I hope that we move forward on this so we can get a conversation. Voting for this don't mean you're for it. I mean, for the pay raise, it means to move this discussion forward, in my opinion. Okay, looking for a motion. Move in a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Appreciate it. All righty.
Mr. Chairman, before you move on, may I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I know I was here on yesterday and you said my resolution would be on the thing. It's not. When can I expect it? That was my.
They can go to the end of the session because it's just a Senate resolution.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
take care of you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. If it's a joint resolution or something that had a bounding connections with, move it forward. Senator Harper, the 7th District, the Peanut People down in, where are you from? Ocilla. Senate Resolution 84.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Senate Resolution 84.
What number are you? 5.
Would simply create
Talk to the microphone.
would simply create a joint committee on airport infrastructure improvements, just a study committee to look into the issue and how we can best fund our airport infrastructure going forward.
And this is the joint study committee. It needs to move
That's
forward.
correct.
All right, any questions? Do pass. Senator Albers, second by Senator Burke. Anything else? Any discussion? And it's too late. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay. Move forward. All right, Senate Resolution 143, Senator Harbin. Oh, the 53rd. Wow, I know. You're not 53rd, but Senator Harbin. No, you didn't. Senator Jordan's been mean to me, so I'm making her wait a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Many of the members of the committee. This is a simple resolution on our chaplain to have him in an official capacity and stated so in code. And that's all it is, very, very simple.
And this official chaplain is not one that do it every day. It should be guests according to the Senate, but it have one on standby, so to speak.
Well, we have one that's permanent,
Yeah.
and he's on there, and that's to recognize him.
All right.
Okay.
Any questions? Passed by Albers, second by Burke. I like that. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Senate Resolution 106 by Senator Jordan that I used to think was my friend, but she attacked me today viciously. I'm red-faced by it. I'm teasing. Thank you, Senator Jordan, for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the timing could not be better after we've left the chamber in terms of passing some of the bills we passed. I bring to you today Senate Resolution 106, which is a resolution for a constitutional amendment for a referendum to go to the public for a vote that would ask the question of whether or not the General Assembly should consider or can consider basically a law that would set up a program for public financing of campaigns. The whole point of that is to lessen the effect of big money and dark money in politics. And you know, in terms of public financing, it has a long pedigree. Teddy Roosevelt first proposed it in 1907. After Watergate, a robust presidential public financing system was enacted from 76 through 2004. Most qualifying candidates participated at the national level, including Ronald Reagan in both President Bushes. There are various models throughout the country that we could consider at some point in time if the voters thought that it was a good idea or not. But obviously the point is really to reduce barriers to participation for candidates and also for office seekers to focus on fundraising within their own communities and not necessarily have to lean so heavily on other interests or other moneyed interests.
So this is taxpayers' money being used for campaign financing. Is that correct?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
And it is a model that has been used throughout the country in various different states for years and years. And like I said, at the national level, we do it for presidential campaigns. And again, the whole point is to try to lessen the influence of, of moneyed interest. And I know that you are fighting dark money.
That ain't what you said earlier.
Well, I'm listening to you now. So
that's a good move. And you know, let's say hypothetically that this bill passes today, and then I choose to allow it to be considered for the floor of the Senate, and it goes to the floor, and the Republicans decide to lock down against it, what would happen to your bill? It would fail. I answered that for you. So I just, I often hate for parties or caucuses locked down. They should let their people go. Let them be free and vote how they wish.
I would agree with that,
Okay,
Mr.
all right.
Chairman.
Good answer. Senator Dugan, do you have a question?
Mr. Chair. Senator, I actually got a few of them, and since this is a standing committee, I just got some questions. I don't understand it.
All right.
Is this like the $1 thing you see on on your tax returns? Do you want $1?
There's not a set, that would have to deal with enabling legislation that would come. This really just puts the question in front of the voters, whether or not they think it's a good idea, to do some kind of, statutory kind of scheme that would allow for public financing. And so there are different ways it's been done. I think in one state, what they do is they say for every $1 you raise of low dollar donations under like 175, you'll get $5 in public financing. I know Michigan has had it for years and years, and it's never to take necessarily the place of private money, but it really is to kind of lessen the impact of the moneyed interest. And you can set it up in any number of ways. And really, it's supposed to supplement. Like I said, there would still be private donations in public, and it's always in the states that I know, or even at the federal level, it's voluntary. You can opt out of it.
And I'm really not trying to be antagonistic. I'm trying to learn here. I understand in generalities, and we don't have the enabling legislation for the specificity of what it does, but can you tell me in your mind what it does? I mean, I understand at the 30,000 foot, but is this paying somebody's entry fee? Is it running mailers? What does it do?
Usually, and like I said, there are various different things, but usually what it says is that if you agree to a certain level, to only spend a certain amount of money, then you can opt into the public financing program. What has happened in some of the states, and also at the presidential level too, I'll say, is that because of soft money and the various monies coming into the campaigns, that candidates have opted out because they want to spend more. Right. So if you kind of agree to a certain level, then you can opt into the public financing. But if you want to exceed that, then you can not, and it wouldn't cost. Obviously, you wouldn't draw down any public dollars.
So that answered one of my questions. So there is a cap for self-funding before you are no longer eligible to do it.
Yeah.
What about like IEs or those programs that weigh in on behalf of somebody, a candidate who has capped themselves?
So the deal is, as you know, IEs are not associated with the campaigns, or at least from a legal perspective, are not supposed to be, and they're not supposed to have any coordination whatsoever. So if I were a candidate that opted in that had capped, right, but then there's an IE, from a legal perspective, I really have no control over that IE. Obviously, we could take care of this in any enabling legislation, but really this is just to kind of get the question in front of the voters, and then there could be a pretty significant vetting as to what other kind of, like I said, statutory framework would seem to work.
Okay, I can see what you're doing here with the amendment, and I'm not opposed to what you're trying to do. It would rest on the enabling legislation and how it was spelled out.
Absolutely, it would. It
Okay.
would.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Jordan. So do I understand candidates would still be able to raise money?
It depends, right? There are different systems. It depends on what would be the pleasure of the General Assembly at any given time. Some can continue to give money. Some it's a system, like I said, where you're trying to encourage small dollar donations. For the public financing part of it, you get a match for any dollar for a dollar that comes in under like a $175 donation, with the whole idea that you're wanting to encourage small dollar donations versus kind of the double max, triple max kind of donations, so that more people can participate in the process, and that, you know, somebody who gives $1 has that much more of effect because of the public financing.
But haven't we, Senator, haven't we seen a significant amount of small dollar donations in recent campaigns of recent history where that's being done very successfully by candidates without the public match and the use of taxpayer money?
Well, there's some of that, obviously, and at the presidential level, we've seen that, in particular in terms of digital fundraising. And all of those candidates that you're talking about are, because there is still a public financing program at the national level in terms of presidential elections. And all of the candidates you're talking about who have hit fairly significant fundraising totals with small dollar donations have all opted out of that program.
So if this were to go forward in the form of what you're proposing, the question before the voters would not have any metrics associated with them. Is that right?
That's right. It's really just, it's more kind of a question of whether or not the General Assembly should try to put something together. It's like a lot of times when we pass constitutional amendments without enabling legislation.
But this particular enabling legislation, the voters would be asked to vote on a program having no idea what it would cost them.
I think really at the end of the day, what we're talking about is the concept, and from a philosophical standpoint, do we think that it makes sense that really we really should limit dark money, soft money, kind of the big interest money, and actually make running for office and doing it successfully attainable by just about anybody, not just independently wealthy people.
I'll take that as a yes to my question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, I guess I have a question on timing. I know that several people, since we've been in legislative session, have gone to the well. I can't remember if you were one of those folks or not that were concerned about public health and education, et cetera. When that was seemingly a problem, we're going to be asking now taxpayers to give money for political campaigns. Is now the right time to be doing that?
I think that what we're talking about right now is just asking them the question, but kind of moving apart from that. I mean, I definitely think that if we would increase the tobacco user fee, if we would evaluate tax credits and exemptions in terms of their return on investment, if we would expand Medicaid, I think we would actually have the resources to appropriately fund the priorities that we care about, in addition to any public funding of campaigns.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, the will of the committee. Looking for a motion. All right, so Senator Jones passed. Senator Miller, I know your name. Seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. No. All right, we're going to have to do the hand things. All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 4. All opposed, raise your right hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Oh,
Have a
it's
good day.
okay.
Okay, that's all for standing committee. Now, we did think this was going to be our last day to get a bill out of committee, but it's not. It's moved to 2 or 3 more days now. Isn't that right, Mr. Vice Chair? Okay. All right, so let's, if you got a bill available, or even not, if you're here, we're going to hear from you. Hang on a second. Since those who have been standing, I'm going to get them first. Senator Robertson. Now, Mr. Harbin, you just got up, so you don't count. I want to actually take you next, Mr. Avatar. Oh, yeah, are you just here for observation? Senator Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With the chairman's permission, I'll hit on these 3 really quickly.
Yes.
Senate Bill 114 is professions in business, and what it does is for many of our convicted felons, when they exit prison, even if they have in their own probation and parole, even if they have a professional business license or they've obtained the skills while incarcerated, to obtain that license, there are certain obstacles in their way from getting them because of the fact that they're on probation or possibly parole. This right here would move that obstacle out of the way so that these individuals could go to work and I believe reduce our recidivism here in the state of Georgia.
Say that word again.
Recidivism.
Can you say it 3 times real quick?
Recidivism.
Okay, that's impressive.
Thank you, sir. No, sir, I cannot. Yes, sir, it's incarceration, backwards. Yes,
That's
sir.
kind of funny, Senator Cowser.
Senate Bill 182, sir, you know, is the electric fence piece of legislation. And Senate Bill 183 requires that any candidate to run for sheriff be a post-certified peace officer in the state of Georgia in good standing with the Peace Officer Standards and Training Council.
I got one question on that one.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate it, and I know your background, but so if Andy Griffith was to want to run for sheriff, he wouldn't be able to, would he?
Absolutely not.
See, and I don't like that. But it's okay, I'm not going to stop it. It's here.
But Barney would.
Any question for the author on all 3 of those? All right, thank you. Senator Kirkpatrick. Senate Bill 80.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a consumer protection bill, and since transparency is the word of the decade, this bill's all about transparency.
At least you remember something I say.
And it has to do with approval for medical procedures, drugs, surgeries, and all that stuff. And it just puts some guardrails around the process and adds a lot of transparency. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any question for the author? Thank you for the lady of Cobb County. All right, let's see. Senate Bill 102, Senator from the 18th. Senator, Senator from the 18th. Senator from the 18th. Senate Bill 102.
This is the bill that we presented to the Regulated Industries Committee, and it deals with prohibiting local governments from being able to preclude you from having certain fuel services for utilities at your house and other locations.
Any question for the author? Thank you so much. All right, Senator from the 16th, Senate Bill 113 and 112, since you're coming. So do 112, then 113.
Thank
Please.
you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. These bills have been through one other time. 112 has to do with annual notification of life insurance policies. Under the current statute, you can have a life insurance policy that's paid up, and there is no annual statement that is issued by the company. This came with, in several cases where someone had a paid-up policy their mother and father had bought on them when they were a child, not knowing about it, and came back and found out that it was worth about $8,000 to them. And so it simply does this. It puts the company requirement to issue an annual statement on the policy, and that's 112.
All right. Any questions for 112? Hearing none, move on.
Okay. 113 is has to do with a policy locator, and I'll kind of give you this little history. This has been through before, but Florida had the first issue in 2016. There was a $7.5 billion settlement that was made by the industry. And this involved life insurance policies where they knew the people were dead. Life insurance policies have an owner, a beneficiary, and an insured. And when they can't find the policy, the beneficiary is the only one that's is contractually the one that's required to give notice and to collect the money. That had occurred. We've had Metropolitan Life in New York had a settlement. They paid for $178 million. And what this does, currently, if you go to the Georgia Insurance Commissioner's website, you can find the policy locator, and it goes to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. But because each state regulates the insurance companies, this would require the insurance companies that are licensed to Georgia to check that website.
Senator Harbin, thank you so much for your description, but you're over-talking your bill today. And
it helps you find what's lost that you didn't know you had.
Amen, brother. Any question for the author before I go to sleep? And you reminded me of Chuck Huffstetler up there.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thanks, sir. Okay, Chuck, I didn't mean anything by that. You're a great orator. All right, Senator, where am I? Oh, me. Senate Bill 114. This is 140. Sorry, that. This is a bill that Senator Harbin and I have been working on for a couple of years. The man that brought us hope, Senator, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, U.S. Senator Zell Miller, to create a commission to put a statue on the grounds of the Capitol. Right here where they've kind of torn up the ground would be a perfect place. And we held off for 2 years because his family asked me to hold off for 2 years while the foundation was growing. So we did. And today we passed unanimously out of committee, and I'm honored. Any questions? Thank you. All right, we're Senate Bill 144, Senator Tippins. We're going to scratch that in case anybody is interested in that. I didn't tell him, but it's an area of operation for. Oh, are you here, Senator Tippins? Please come forward. Sorry, everybody. It's not a good day for me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. This has to do with housing authorities. Currently, under state law, they can go 10 miles outside of the jurisdiction in which they're created. This bill does not preclude them from doing that, but they have to have the agreement of the political subdivision in which they're going, and they have to abide by the zoning building ordinances of that area.
Any questions for the author? Thank you, Lindsay, for
Thank
coming.
you. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
you got a question? Okay. 144. Senate Bill 144. Yes, sir. And let me tell you, there's some education bills out there. We're waiting to have them on the floor Wednesday for Education Day to let everybody know. All right, Senate Bill 169. Senator from the 20th, Senator Walker. What number are you? 7, I think.
7. Thank you, Chairman.
Speak in the microphone.
Senate Bill 169 codifies one of the governor's public health state of emergency executive orders to continue to allow contractor bonds to be done with digital signatures and digital seals versus a wet signature and a wet seal. There's unanimous support in the industry. All the stakeholders, I've found no opposition to this. Thank you.
Any questions for the author? Thank you, Larry. That sounds exciting, too. Senate Bill, we've already done that one. Senate Bill 185, Senator from the 50th District. All right, do you bow? Senator Al, watch this. Okay, come on up. A freshman has to bow to the committee, just procedure. Curtsy would be proper. Can you curtsy? No, don't do it. All right, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here to present Senate Bill 185, which is...
Wait a minute. Did you have a bill today?
On the floor?
Yes.
I believe I did, and you asked some really intellectually stimulating questions that I appreciated.
Did he just smart off to me?
I didn't.
Did you just smart off to me?
Those were great questions.
Maybe I should just ask him to go away. Go on with it. All right, give it to me. Give it to me.
It's taxpayer fairness bill. It puts taxpayers in Georgia on a level playing field with the courts.
All right, any questions for the youngster? Okay, what? Speak.
Whose bill is this?
This is...
Is this a governor's bill?
This is not a governor's bill.
Did you give permission?
Yes.
You shouldn't ever ask that. You should just say, oh, no, that's my bill. I'm
They
independent.
support the position.
All right.
It's not his
Any other questions? Be gone with you. Okay, let's see what's left here. Oh, Senator for the first. Is Senator Watson here? Okay. Senate Bill 235. Thank you, Senator. You got a long way to drive today, don't you?
You know, it's just part of the job. So
Oh, that was good. That was good.
it's part of that $17,100 that we get paid.
All right. Yeah, no. Okay, that's my fault. All right.
Oh, aren't we so happy to be here? Thank you. It is
This is a
Friday
good bill, by the way.
afternoon. It is Senate Bill 235. It is something that we should do because hopefully emergency orders will expire sometime in our lifetime, and we would revert back to the original language in the law which says that we cannot wear masks or hoods in the public with the intent of intimidating people, etc. So this would allow us to wear masks in public to prevent infectious disease, basically, and that's all it does.
Any questions? Sound like a good bill. All right, thank you. All right, Senator Al, come forward, please. Percy, all right, thank you. That was very proper.
I wasn't expecting to get
You're welcome to take your mask off since you're properly apart.
All right, I can certainly do that. Thank you so much. I want to present Senate Bill 82.
All right, okay, continue.
Okay. Which seeks to clarify the OCGA code related to insurance coverage of emergency care. I'm just going to explain what the problem is. The problem this bill seeks to address is a retroactive rejection of emergency medical claims by insurance companies when they determine after the care has been received that the patients did not meet the threshold for receiving emergency care. So basically, insurance companies saying it wasn't enough of an emergency, we're not going to pay for it. Probably saw this in the news about 2 years ago. So my bill is just a straightforward way to address a loophole that exists in the insurance code and to protect patients from unfairly shouldering the burden of their medical care. It's going to help a lot of patients, and thank you for listening to my
Before
bill.
we grill you here, Senator
All
Kaiser,
right.
did you have something to suggest?
I would request that our President Pro Tem put this on Section 1 if he would so move.
If it's important to the chairman, I'd be delighted to.
I'd second that.
Only the senator.
Move that to Section 1.
Only the senator of the 55th would agree. Yes, say yes. Okay, all right. It's unanimous up here. All right, so we're going to move you to Section 1, provided these established and well thoughtful senators would agree. But does anybody have any questions? This would be her first bill.
Please, I love it.
And she thinks
Bring it.
just because she's in a Democrat Party that we wouldn't ask her questions. That's what she's
I would
thinking.
never think that.
Yeah, hit her
Please.
with your best shots, what I'm saying.
Senator Al,
Yes.
what time is it?
What time is it right now?
Yes.
It's probably about 2:45, 2:46 is the exact.
2:45 on a Friday afternoon.
That is correct.
Get the hell out of here.
I'd be happy to oblige.
Yield the well.
We're going to put this on Section 1, and if we do choose this, which would be a high honor for a fresh person. What do you say?
I say first year.
Huh? Firsty? Anyway, we will be ready.
All right.
And I suggest you be the same.
I'll be ready too.
All right, be going with you.
Thank you.
All right, so put Senate Bill 82 right under Senate Bill 80. It's up for choosing if you so choose. All right, let's choose a few. I can't talk today. Have y'all noticed that? I can't talk. All right. I'm first. Dean Burke. Pick me one. It's going to be Elena Parent and Harold Jones, too, and John Kennedy. Huh? Senate Bill 80? Okay, Senate Bill 80. Senator Elena Parent. Okay, I'm just shocked about that. We're going to hold off on Senate Bill 102. It has a little more power to achieve. The author has asked me that he wants to dress it up for the big attack. So we're going to hold off on Senate Bill 102. All right, Senator John Kennedy. I said that where you couldn't pick your own bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm from a good friend, Dr. Watson, Senate Bill 235.
Senator Harold Jones. SB 169. Larry Walker III, LW3.
Well, I realize, Mr. Chairman, that self-dealing is really frowned upon.
Since when? Here. Thank you for paying attention. All right, would you like to try again? Just call me Jeff. Anyway, keep going. Okay, thank you. Is Matt Brass in? Nope. He lost his pick. Senator Bill Cowsard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to select SB 112.
112. Let me count up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do one more. Lee Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, I select Senate Bill 114.
114, all right. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's stop there. All right. Here's what we're looking at. Senate Bill 80, Senate Bill 82, Senate Bill 112, Senate Bill 114, Senate Bill 140, Senate Bill 169, Senate Bill 235, and I'm going to add Senate Bill 185. All right. I'm looking for a motion. Second by Kennedy. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Have a great week. All in who's not against it, I don't hear from you. Have a great weekend. Be safe going home. I love every one of you. I enjoy serving with you. Even you, Senator Jordan. And you too, Senator Butler. All right, have a good day. Go to your committee meeting if you have one, and we'll see you Monday morning.